Hello everyone. I am Imran Hassan. I'm in third year of my PhD under the supervision and mentorship of Professor Ahmed Al-Malai at Dalhousie University, Agriculture Campus, Truro. Today I will be presenting about my topic, that is deep learning-based detection of Colorado potato beetles in in-field images for autonomous field scouting. So I will start with the potato. Actually, I am working on the potato field. So potato is actually one of the most cultivated and consumed crop in the world, and especially in the North America and especially in Canada, like it's one of the most consumed, as well as like one of the most Canada is one of the most exporter of the potato. Uh, Farmers actually they invest a lot while growing the crop, so it's very important to monitor the health of the crop time by time. So what they do is like they go into the field for the scouting, and then they check the crop and health of the crop and find the anomalies, like is there any anomalies present in the crop or no, because it's very important to detect the anomalies. If they are not detected on time, they can affect the crop and yield negatively. So what they look for the anomalies, they like mostly they look for the beetles and insects, and especially in the northern region or North American region, Colorado potato beetles are like mostly found. And they also look for the diseases that are like that can be shown through the visual symptoms of the leaves and stems, for example, like late blight and early blight, and also look for the weeds, because they have to manage all these anomalies in time to take care of the crop. So I will be mostly talking about the Colorado potato beetles. So actually they are one of the most serious insect pests of potato, because they drastically reduce the yield, since they feed on the leaves of the potato plants, and they grow very fast. And in order to like find the Colorado potato beetles, they are very small in size. Like adult beetle is almost like 1 centimeter long, and if you want to if you want to detect them in the images that are taken at a distance, so they become very small. They just like cover less than 1% of the whole image. So it's very like difficult to detect the Colorado potato beetles in the images for the automatic detection of them. So my objective is like to detect the adult Colorado potato beetles from in-field images of the potato plant leaves using deep learning architecture, which is the YOLO version 7. So methodology I adopted for that is the most important thing is to acquire the images. For that, actually, this is our main objective, ultimate objective. So we developed an imaging system that can be mounted on the sprayer and that can acquire the images while the sprayer is moving in the field without the intervention of any operator. And then we have to do some pre-processing on the images. For example, we have to crop them, or like we have to make them bright, or we have to do some pre-processing on the images. Then we have to create the data set from those images, and data set actually include training and validation data set, and as well as testing data set, so that we can test our training model whether it's capable of deployment or no. Then we have to use some deep learning architecture to train the models, and in our case, we are using YOLO version 7 for training that. And then at the end, we have to test the learning model, and if the accuracy is good enough, so we deploy it. Otherwise, we have to change the hyperparameters and retrain it until we get the good accuracy, or maybe we have to change some approach as well. So first of all, like we acquire the images. Our ultimate goal is to acquire the images using the imaging system we have developed already, and then apply on that. But like for this initial research, we acquired the images using a handheld device, that is the RGB Samsung camera, which was 12 megapixel, and we captured it at a height of 1 meter to mimic the exact same height which the from which the camera that is mounted on the sprayer, we will get the images from that. And resolution is 4K, and auto ISO and autofocus were set to get the images. Here you can see a sample image, and here if you see, this is the beetle in the image which we have to detect automatically, which is a like tough task. So after getting the images, we have to train the deep learning models, we have to generate the data set. For that, we have to draw the bounding boxes, and for that we used RoboFlow, which is an online tool. We uploaded the images on the RoboFlow, and manually we draw the bounding boxes for all the Beetles. And at the end, then here you can see like this is the RoboFlow tool, and we are drawing the bounding boxes, and then at the end we get a bounding box in this case to train the model. And then there is another annotation file with it that is actually used by the training models. So we after annotating the images, we get a data set which include like training data set was 328 images, validation and testing were 41 and 42 respectively. And for the training, actually we used advanced research computing of the Canada that provide us like with clouds and free storage and some like high-end GPU computing powers that are very important for training the deep learning networks. We trained the YOLO version 7 model using different hyperparameters, like learning rate scheduler was set from 0.01 to 0.001, and ADAM and SGD optimizers were used, and epochs were like changed from 500 to 5,000. And maximum batch size we were able to set was 4. So we tried with different 1, 2, and 4 batch sizes. Then we trained the network, and we applied it on the test data set, and we got some results. So here, if you can see, actually, there are 2 Beetles here. One was detected correctly and one was not detected correctly. Overall, like if you see the results, we were able to have the detection accuracy up around like less than 15%. Which is actually not a good accuracy to deploy a model. So what we did, we changed the approach, and we find out the problem. What exactly is the problem? The problem was like the image resolution is 4K, and we resize the image for the training algorithm to 640 by 640, resize the image to 640 by 640 to input it into the YOLO version 7 architecture. So what that creates the problem, the object shape changes. Actually, if you can just see here, like this was the original object, and when you change it, the object shape changes. Like since the image is rectangular and we change it to square image, the object also changes because aspect ratio is not same. And the second thing is the image is the object of interest is already very small, and when we resize it to further like small, it becomes like almost negligible. Like it almost becomes 0.002%. Like it changes from around like 0.1% to 0.02% in the whole 4K image. So what we did is like we used a cropping and partition approach, in which we developed a software in C# in which we can load the already annotated data, and we crop the image to 640 by 640. Instead of like resizing, we crop the image. Like here, if you we loaded the data, and when we just click on this already annotated image, it automatically crops in whatever size we want to. Like here we have set 640 by 640, so it can crop and then save it automatically. So we have to go through all the images, click wherever the Beetles are, and then it will it generates a data set. And after like this approach, we generated another data set that include training images 398 and validation 56 and testing 56 images. Then we applied the same approach on the data set the newly data set created, with the best parameters we found, which was 0.01 learning rate scheduler and optimizer as ADAM, and epochs 500, and batch size was 4. So after that, like the results were drastically improved, like from 15% to 87%. Here you can see these are the sample images. As a result, like the Beetles are detected correctly from the 640 by 640 image size. So overall, we improved the accuracy from 14 to 18%. Sir.